videos.
What?
Videos. You do the YouTube thing, remember?
Well, yeah, but I have a life. I mean, I went to Nashville and Connecticut, and then I put up some polls on my Instagram for anybody who wanted to participate.
Yeah, but you have to make the content, the gay stuff. Give the people what they... God dang it.
Are you my manager? What is this?
Just do the intro, dang it.
It's interesting how you'll say fuck, but not damn it. Hello, Internet. My name is Stephanie or Steph. Either is fine. And Clefairy bullied me, so I guess I'm back. Yay. For real, though, I was busy, I promise. I went to Nashville for the Johnny Mercer Songwriters Project, and then after that, I went to the National Musical Theater Conference at the O'Neill Center for 2 weeks. So all in all, I've been away from my microphone for about a month. It didn't really feel right to make a video when I was away from my setup. But I'm here, and I took another poll on my Instagram to figure out who is the most leading lady. Before I left for everything, I had the pleasure of seeing Audra McDonald and Gypsy, and it kind of made me think about those legendary tracks in musical theater, and most of the time they're always women and film-presenting people in these larger-than-life roles. Now, the term leading lady comes from the opera world, but if we were to boil it down in its simplest form, it is basically a leading part for a female presenting character. I think Mama Rose is what is considered widely to be that part, that leading lady part, where if you play it, you are considered a Broadway legend. Ethel Merman, Bernadette Peters, Tyne Daly, all of these women have been considered legends and thus have been granted this part because they know they can take on this role. But I'm curious what other roles there are like that. And that's what I wanted to put out to my Instagram followers, and they gave me some ideas that I'm going to present to you here. Today I want to talk about 6 roles that I believe fall under this legendary status, but don't necessarily get the credit that they deserve. But if I missed any, let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you want to participate in these silly little thought experiments that I like to do every now and then on Sunday, feel free to follow me on Instagram at @SLeotaCarlin. That is S, like my name, Leota as in my middle name, and Carlin, like the comedian, because I guess I'm funny. Anyway, let's lead the ladies. Alright, this first one, I know for a fact my audience knows because my audience just went through puberty and they have to know what this one is. They just have to. Elle Woods from Legally Blonde is such a hard track. And we're not even talking about the belting. We're not even talking about the acting. We're not even talking about dancing. Whoever this actor is, they do have to be a triple threat. But the thing is that makes Elle particularly legendary is that she has to stay on stage for almost the entire time. From the minute she's in that dress shop to the end of the show, she's there. She even stays for the villain song that everybody remembers. You know the one, you know the villain song. That really catchy, incredible villain song that everyone remembers. You know the one, it's the something about beer in seltzer? Like vinegar in lava? Something in something. You know what I'm talking about. And not to mention the costume changes, like throughout that she probably has to cycle through backstage. I mean, if you're really talking a big professional production. Yeah, I think Elle needs to be up there. And I think if we're cycling through productions of Legally Blonde, I think we need to put whoever is in Elle Woods next on the legendary status. We also need the West End production to come to the US. We need Black Elle Woods, and we need somebody to come in and play a dog for an equity contract. Please, for the love of God, we need it. Alright, now for a part that I know my audience doesn't know, because again, my audience just went through puberty and probably doesn't know about the Kennedys or any of the problems that came amongst that time period, but you're about to learn something now. This is why you come to me. You're not paying attention to your US history class, you're paying attention to this little non-conforming idiot on the internet talking about musicals. That's what you're paying attention to. I know you children. Grey Gardens is one of the most legendary cult classic documentaries, especially in queer culture. There would literally be gay bars that would just play this documentary in the background while people were hanging out and chilling. Big Edie Bill and Little Edie Bill were essentially some of the biggest names amongst the Kennedy family. They were the prize jewels of the Kennedy family. And for them to suddenly live in squalor in an abandoned mansion with tons of cats in the middle of this beach town was absolutely insane. So the documentary Grey Gardens talks about it. But there was a musical adaptation of it, where the first act, they kind of delve into the lives of the Kennedys a bit and also fictionalize some of the stuff with the Kennedys, but I guess we don't talk about that. And the second act is more close to the documentary and what the documentary talks about. Now, why I say Big Edie and Little Edie specifically is because in the first act, the actor has to play Big Edie. But then in the second act, that takes place some 20, 30 years later, that same actor has to play Little Edie, her daughter. The first act, she is this character of grace and selfishness and prima donna to the max with a very crisp American accent of the 30s and 40s that we know. And then in the 70s, Little Edie has a very specific New York accent, like an East Coast accent. It's a very specific kind of accent. Whoever plays this part has to play the adult mother and then the young daughter. Playing two characters with two different accents and both having heavy singing parts in both acts is insane. Genius, but insane. So I think it's fair to say that if there was ever a Grey Gardens revival, I think we should count whoever is Big Edie and Little Edie as a legendary part. I will say, someone did make a point that Satine in Moulin Rouge has a lot. She is on stage a lot and basically has to channel all of the pot divas to get her mark on stage. It's kind of ridiculous how much she has to do. I mean, what songs does she have to sing? Fireworks, she has to sing Diamonds Are Forever, she has to sing Material Girl, Brick House, Diamonds, Shut Up and Dance, Raise Your Glass, One More Night, Can't Help Falling in Love, I Will Always Love You. Good God. And this is just the first act. I mean, there's also, I'm just reading through some of these. I mean, Come What May, obviously, the big song she does. There's also Bad Romance, Chandelier, and not to mention Come What May, Rolling in the Deep, Lady Marmalade again. All that to say, I think this is a pretty hard part. And I would be shocked if anyone thought otherwise. There was once a time, like most people who go into the theater, where little Stephanie wanted to be an actor. And if you asked little Stephanie what their dream role was, they would immediately say, Dolly Levi from Hello, Dolly. I love this woman so much. She is such a character, such a fun role to play. Basically, she's just a matchmaker, and she goes into some hijinks and hooligans throughout the show. Does it make any sense? No. Does she have incredible outfits? Yes. Does she have a lot to sing and a lot to do? Yes. And you kind of need to be this charming, over-the-top, larger-than-life person in order to play her. Like, they don't just make any person Dolly Levi, otherwise it doesn't really sell. It's not even to say that it's a stunt cast, necessarily. It's more that the women who play this part have such a charm and such a grace and a beauty to them that, of course, they would play Dolly Levi, of all people. And of course, they get the most iconic songs of I Put My Hand In, Before the Parade Passes By, So Long, Dearie, which is the ultimate breakup song in terms of classic musical theater. And not to mention the titular song, where she is in full drag, basically, as tons of waiters are praising her and talking about how amazing she is. Like, you want a girl's girl in that part. And I just wanted to be a girl's girl so badly. That would have been nice. Oh well. Do I have to talk about Andrew Lloyd Webber? Do I have to talk about Andrew Lloyd Webber? Please, for the love of God, do I have to talk about him? I don't want to. No. 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 So, the thing with Andrew, sweet, sweet Andrew, is that the way he writes female presenting parts, specifically, scares the living shit out of me. Like, I look at some of these scores and I'm just like, why would you do that to any human being? And granted, he's done that a couple of times with his male presenting parts. I mean, I think the perfect example of that is Jesus Christ Superstar. Like, both Jesus and Judas are literally, the difference is a haircut in terms of ranges. But a lot of the Andrew Lloyd Webber flack comes from the way he writes women, specifically. And for me, the part that I would argue is his hardest amongst his leading ladies, and one that I think should be under legendary status, is Eva Perón. Eva Perón from Evita, if you don't know, was an actual politician and first lady of Argentina who became a symbol of freedom in the 1950s, and whose musical became a hit worldwide, specifically in the West End, and is actually being revived in the West End right now with Rachel Ziegler in the leading parts, with black and white imagery and dancers, and I don't quite understand this production's interpretation of history, but regardless, she, similar to Elle Woods, has to be on stage for a majority of the show. And on top of that, her range is even crazier than Elle Woods somehow. I think she's probably the most difficult, and I know some Andrew Lloyd Webber fans are going to come after me for my comments, and that's fine. And some people are also going to be like, but Christine Daae, and I'm going to say pre-recorded. And I'm going to end it at that. The last one, in my opinion, is also one that I feel like is very obvious, but took forever to get to when it came to the public poll that I put out. Specifically, there was one person that said, Mama Rose, Dolly Levi, and maybe Elphaba. Maybe. Girl. Let me tell you how freaking insane Elphaba is. The amount of vocal gymnastics one has to do for so much of the show, but for specifically the songs that everybody knows. I mean, there's No Good Deed Goes Unpunished. There's The Wizard and I. Defying Gravity, I feel like, is just an Olympic feat in itself. And I know some of you are going to be like, but it's not really a dance role, you know, it's not really an acting role and stuff like that. Girls, if there is a part where music directors are literally on your ass if you don't do a particular riff or hit a note in a particular way and placement, that's hard. That's very hard. And Wicked has become one of those shows where you have to repeat it and do the same way over and over again, regardless of who you are. For over 20 years, there have been cycles upon cycles of Elphabas that have trained and dedicated just to make sure that they sound the same every night, 8 nights a week. And there are numerous women around the world who have played this part and have played it amazingly. And I encourage you to look up every single one of them. There are like compilations of Elphabas just doing particular riffs on the show, because there are certain riffs in this show that are just so difficult, notoriously, to do. Just the riffs, not even the songs, just the riffs. So I think if there is ever a part that should be on the level as Mama Rose, I think it's Elphaba. And I recommend that you follow all of these wonderful Elphabas, because they have worked their butts off and deserve a little more credit than they get. So yeah, there are some leading ladies. Who did I miss? Who did I not miss? Who was I incredibly wrong about? Is my shirt not ironed? Yes. But let me know in the comments below. And if you like what you see, like and subscribe, I guess. I should probably be more consistent about posting, but probably won't be. Not gonna lie. It's not, y'all. I just do things and I forget. That's kind of the neurodivergent in me a little bit. We'll go with that for now. Oh, and also, if you're in the New York area, I am playing a set at the Pink Frog Cafe on the 24th. Tickets are down below. And you should come out if you want to hear some more of my songs and support me in other ways that are not just clicking a button and distracting yourself during class when you should be paying attention. Are you paying attention? I'm certainly not. Anyway, bye.